Hello and welcome back for the next Ironman progress episode. This time we are going through quite a many kind of things to do, such as hunt the rumours, which I did some of those, to collect resources such as moonlight moths and some game meats to combine them. Because with these you can do these so-called Pirkka versions of prayer potions without other problems such as running out of runner reeds. Without any other plans, I made some master level hunter rumours. I gathered around 300 moonlight mixes while I was doing this, and meanwhile I also got 35 clues done with around 1.45 million of loot. This was quite nice. I got also upgraded my whistle to get it for the perfected whistle for some more teleports too.
Wow!
Eventually I also got myself Huntsman kit from the boxes, and it was already more than I was anticipating, as I was only planning to get some moonlight mixes. This was also one collection log markup, which was really nice, and it also helped me a lot with organizing my bank, as the hunter's kit allows you to store hunter items inside it. After I had my moonlight mixes done and my prayer potions done, it was time to get myself thinking something else to do. I started to get ready for trying out Scurrius. I geared myself up and I was starting to think to try out one kill without recording, and eventually I happened to get from the first kill the Scurrius spine, so unfortunately I didn't have recording for this one exactly. Scurrius spine is used to make the rat-bane weapons that are more effective than regular weapons against the rats. I tried myself out for the trip and eventually was starting to learn the patterns in a few kills, so I started to grind it out a little bit and eventually got around 10 kills in the first visit in the dungeon. After I was finally starting to run out of food, I was starting to plan out this dungeon, and what is the most important thing to do next is to make myself a new rat-bane weapon. So I left the dungeon, headed towards the Champions Guild, and went to buy myself a rune mace used for creating the rat-bane melee weapon. I grabbed my hammer from the bag and went to create the rat-bane weapon to try out. Now that I had my rat-bane weapon and I was geared ready, I started to go through the combat achievements as well. First of them is simply killing a Scurrius once, so this was already unlocked for me. Second achievement was to finish off Scurrius with a rat-bane weapon in a private instance, so eventually this was going to happen in the next kill of course. A second kill count achievement was killing Scurrius 10 times, which I also almost got already, since I had 9 kill count from the first trip already. Then there's a perfect Scurrius achievement, which is meaning that you need to kill Scurrius in a private instance without taking the damage you may avoid. This means having perfect prayer flicks and not taking any damage besides the smaller rat attacks, which are not possible to always avoid. Last one of these is killing a 6 giant rats in the Scurrius lair in 3 seconds, which requires you to have also the rat-bane weapon, which you can spam click the rats with. Eventually I got the perfect Scurrius kill at the kill count 14, so it didn't take too long either. After this there was only left the final achievement of stamping in the rats within 3 seconds. This was taking a little more time since I was not focusing too much for that one, and I was still trying out how the whip was working, and I was just wondering if I should use it at all yet, since I wasn't checking it out too fast. Eventually I had the final achievement as well. I also looked up eventually if I should use the whip or not, and it is obviously not useful if you have the rat weapon already. So I was going to drop the whip bang after I'm done with grip. After a few more kills at kill count 19 I already had my second Scurrius spine as well, so I was ready to make another rat weapon if I wanted to. I have of course not so much interest to grade anything else than melee as my range is max and place is quite near as well. One kill at a time, boss was starting to feel more natural to do and didn't have to think too much already at this point. This was quite easy and nice boss to farm around at this point already, and I was getting way more kills per trip as well. This second trip I had around 20 kc and third trip I had already like 35 kc, and the amount was growing as you really don't need a lot of food or prayer portions to do this boss. And now that I'm a little more familiar with boss, if you haven't done it, let's go through it in shotgun. You go to the boss lair from Varrock Silvers, it's right next to the Varrock Church. While entering the lair, Scurrius starts attacking you with melee, and while he's stomping the ground, there are going to be tiles falling from the roof. So start the fight with protect from melee and avoid the black dots in the ground. After he goes to eat, he will be attacking you with range and mage, so you have to protect the prayers accordingly. Rat on the left is throwing to range, you have time to look up what he's doing and switch prayers. Right one is throwing you with the mage and he will be returning to attack you with melee and summoning the rats and switching the prayers after that. So just keep focusing on him and protecting yourself from the excess damage. If you have the rat weapon, you don't have to anymore focus on Scurrius, but instead you can spam click the rats and kill them in a quite fast 2-second session to avoid more melee damage. This means you don't really have to take any damage at the fights at all. This is the reason you can do up to even 50 or who knows, maybe even 100 kills a trip when you get fluent with the boss fight. Besides this, there are also some food piles around the arena, which you can eat from every 10 minutes, so you can refill your HP if you can manage to survive 10 minutes in the lair. After the combat achievement, I found myself grinding with Scurrius for a while. I eventually did even up to 359 kc of him at the time. While I was getting more bored, I decided to do something else eventually. But loot was quite nice from him actually. It was around 10k a kill, so eventually it ended up piling up to 3.4 million with mostly alchable items to the bank. Not bad. Up next, it was time to do the rest of the ratbane weapons I had eventually collected. So I headed up to make some bowstrings and got myself a unfinished longbow to do this Scurrius archer weapon. After this I went to Tears of Good Things to get my weekly free experience run towards, of course, the newest skill, sailing, which was the lowest one for me and I think still is. I also did the magic ratbane weapon to store it in my bag and headed to gear up for next things to do. I decided to go through TzHaar lair to try and find out some collection log unlocks from there as well. This was efficient to do with blood spells and now using my brand new bloodbark gears I just got from the Shades of Morton minigame quite a while ago. This was another thing I haven't done in around maybe 10 years, so let's see how things are working out with new free cheap prayer potions and some food in case to dry out. Heading towards the TzHaar location, I was trying to find myself a good location, but finally I found myself to the middle area, which was filled with people. This is a multi-combat area which allows you to deal a lot of damage with this multi-combat mage spells. This location simply consists from different TzHaar characters which are doing melee, range and mage damage, and they also have this TzHaar civilian type of characters which you can attack, and attacking them you can draw out aggression towards you from everyone else, so try to hit them and get yourself a nice pile of enemies to hit up and allow you to deal maximum amount of damage with the blood spells and having tons of experience meanwhile. All of these enemy types have their own drop rates, which you have to see out. Melee ones drop the shields and clubs, while ranged ones drop daggers and swords, and mage ones drop the staff. Every one of these drops the obsidian cape, so if you are planning to get all of those, you will eventually have the obsidian cape anyways, so you don't have really to worry about obsidian cape drops really. As a promising start to the grind, I found myself an obsidian shield just in a few minutes of trying out to kill those. After this, it also was only 3 minutes later when I get the obsidian cape drop from them as well. Grinding out a little bit more, I just happened to have the crazy luck to have also obsidian blade body in meanwhile. This was eventually quite effective 15 minutes, providing me profit of around 3 million. Every now and then I had to go to bank to get myself some more food and also some more prayer potions and continuing the grind. Eventually I ran up to some Ironman problems as running out runes. I didn't have too much of blood runes or death runes, and this was draining the bank from resources extremely fast. This was after a few hours I started to run out from the runes, but I also got a little bit lucky and got myself also the obsidian dagger from them. After this I ran out of runes and I started to try out doing a few runs with melee, but as this was really too slow, I was just running it for a while and eventually decided to not really do this. I had to start planning what to do once again next, since this was not proving efficient even though the experience was good. As I was starting to make my way out, I also ended up finding the German friend to assign me for some pheasant fest and got myself one more lederhosen item unlocked. Up next I was heading towards the bank and starting to continue with my planning. Once again I went a little bit through my bank resources and found also a black headband for my collection log, which was somehow still missed from the many past routes of that. After that I also had the most stupid idea to try out selling the obsidian items and buying with the sold obsidian capes the mage item to see if I can have the collection log with this one. So eventually I just turned 2 million into 500k with no any additional unlocks. I headed towards the wilderness area to buy myself some runes, and then I was starting to gear up, and I decided to go towards the Barrows dungeon to get myself some runes and collection logs, as I remember this activity provides you with absolutely insane amounts of runes to use. Going through the new combat achievements in Barrows is quite interesting as well. First of them is to just use magical damage to kill one of the Barrows brothers, which is the simplest one of those yet, as they are really weak for magic anyways. Second one is to just open 10 chests of Barrows, which is just kill count. Same as the 25 kill count achievement. Pray for success requires to kill all 6 Barrows brothers and loot the chest without taking any damage from the brothers, which is quite hard when you cannot avoid all the damage from Verak, who hits through the prayer, but most of them you can. For Verak, this requires you have to lock him in place and use such as snare spells. There's also achievement for killing one of the brothers using only the special attacks. This is easiest with the poisoned dragon dagger, as you can just hit him with specials and let the poison do the work. Last one is the Faithless Grip Run, with killing all the brothers and looting the Barrows chest without ever having more than 0 prayer points, so you have to drain yourself out of prayer before starting this run. This can be quite hard for low level players, especially when you can run out of HP eventually. Last and most challenging is maybe to killing all of the melee brothers without letting them even attack you, not only having them not do damage to you, but not even allowing attacking. This really requires the snare spells to be used, to giving you some extra time. I did this activity maybe 10 years ago, so I had some memories of using the Iban's blast in here as a cheap budget method, so I headed up to jotting my stuff and heading towards the swamp. This was quite nostalgic, really, and starting to do kill after kill. I was going through the Barrows with the usual disappointments I was actually waiting, but got eventually the Ahrim stuff in chest number 15, which was quite nice. A little while later I also heard that the Gomal's Hilt is actually completely removing the prayer drain from the dungeon, so of course I had to get this one to be used for myself. Before that I also found myself Caryl's Coif in maybe 30 chests or so, getting the hill and heading back to enjoying the Barrows with way more convenient way. It was time to start trying out the challenge of not getting hit by the melee hits. For this I was using the Swamp Bark gear to improve more the snare length, which is helping me to avoid the extra damage. With the Swamp Bark gear I had even 4 to 5 hits to do before the melee brothers were moving at all. After that you just run towards the opposite side of the coffin, and if you have already used the snare you have to wait a few seconds to be able to use it again. But this was quite simple way to do this, and I think I had 2 or 3 tries and eventually I got it. After having the achievements done for myself already, it was time to really focus on the grinding the Barrows out without any extra steps or achievements to try out. So it was time to shut off my brain and start grinding only. Knowing this will be a long run, I started to just go through it as fast as I can. I already had the past 1280 kc of barrows, and I found at chest 1305 another Scurrius coif. At 1310 I had duplicate of Ahren's robe. Next up, in chest 1331 I finally found myself another Guthan's helm, which was unfortunately duplicate, but it was quite valuable anyway, so why mind that? You will have tons of duplicates doing this activity anyways, so better rather enjoy from the expensive ones. Heading back to the barrows, it was time to grind more and more. I got myself already quite a much barrows experience, and the runs were starting to be less than 5 minutes per run. But eventually, getting a little bored, I decided to arc up my loot from Scurrius to get some gas stack towards my bank, allowing me to get, in example, the daily battle staffs. I went back to doing another tiers of Gothics to get myself one more sailing level, and doing some fashionscape decisions such as changing up my Samurai guard cape instead of using the Saragami one to fit with the Bloodbar gears. Meanwhile I was going through the bank stuff, I went to drop off also the Brav pet from the Wild Gothic Lipp's quest to my house and headed back to the barrows. Just a few more chests and I found myself the Carril's bow, finishing up my Carril's set requirements, giving me the first complete set I was missing. After that I was just starting to continue the grind up. While I was doing some more barrows, I noticed I had another achievement coming up quite soon, since I was nearing up having magic level, which was going to mean 99 magic, and on the chest 1380 I finally got myself the final experience required and hit the 99 magic, and straight away I headed towards the Wizard's Tower to get myself the achievement cape. This was the 5th unlocked max cape or skill cape, which is unlocked in the account. Then back to barrows, back to grind, and let's do it until we are done, maybe. Continuing to grind on the chest 1398, I finally got myself the next barrows item, which was quite fortunately a unique crop of thorax chest plate, allowing us to have one more unlock available and Verak brassards in a few chests. Continuing around 20 more chests were only dry ones, but of course eventually luck will turn out, and eventually I got myself the beloved thorax set, but unfortunately it was going to be another duplicate of thorax hammers. So as we didn't get too lucky, it's time to also end up the episode. Thanks for watching and come join for the next episode. Thank you. Bye.